I am so excited to bring you a three-part series of the Millennials versus the Baby Boomers. We're getting ready to start with part one. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist. What we're about on this show is bridging the parent gap. Today, I have such an exciting guest. Her name is Alex Rubinov, and she is a millennial. Bum, 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 bum. And we're going to be talking about the millennials versus the boomers and what it feels like to be raised by a perfect mom. So, Alexa and I are going to have a fantastic time talking about what's the difference between being a millennial and a boomer. She's going to ask me a few questions. I'm going to ask her a few questions, and we're just going to have some fun. So if you would like to have a boomer question or a millennial question, bring it to Ask Dr. Beth at drbeth.com in an email, and I'll bring it into the show. So let's get started. Hi, Alexa.
Hi, Dr. Beth.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me today.
I'm so excited to have you here. So we've had many conversations.
Yes.
One of the rules that I have about being on my show. You ready for my number one rule?
I'm ready.
Okay. The number one rule is if I ask anything that you don't want to answer, you get to say, I'm not answering that question.
All right.
And you win bonus points.
I like it.
So anything that feels uncomfortable, below the belt, you just feel like it, you just want to show people what it feels like to say, I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
Sounds good.
Because what I'm about is bringing teens and parents and professionals the power to be their authentic voice. So we're just going to have some fun, dishing, talking, and interviewing each other. And the first thing I'm going to do is teach you a concept that I teach parents and I teach families, which is called the brag list. Have you ever heard of the brag list?
No.
Okay.
I'm curious about it, though.
Okay, so the brag list, as it sounds, is to give each other in a safe environment where no one's watching, permission to brag. Because there's something that we do in society that's like, play small. Don't be in your greatness. Don't be the greatest version of yourself. And I am all about reversing that trend. So I would love for you to introduce yourself and blow me away.
All right.
Tell me,
Sounds good.
and I know some of your hot stuff, so give me some really good things. Like, play like you were about to go for the job interview of the world.
Wow.
And you wanted this job bad. Give me like a 1 minute, these are some of my 5 top brags. Boom, boom, boom. Go.
All right. My name is Alexa Rubinov. I'm originally from Canada. Moved here when I was 10. And I went straight into Palo Alto High School and did college in the Sonoma area. And after that, I went straight into tech. I was always really passionate about technology. So I worked at Apple for a bit, managing operations at an Apple store.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun.
Boom.
And then I realized that I was super passionate about education and training. So I moved into instructional design.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, I took a big jump. And I said, what would it be like to join a startup? And so I moved into a startup in the SaaS space.
Yes.
And then got accepted into Stanford Business School. So I quit my job.
Wow.
Went to Stanford, and then I just graduated this past year. I'm so excited to be kind of back on the hunt, so I'm on a little bit of a passion quest right now.
I love it.
And looking for the next big chapter.
And you're 82 because you've done all of those things.
Yes. Yes, in dog years.
I love it. Wow, to be so young and to have done so much. That is amazing.
Super
and
sweet.
you left out some pretty cool things. Like, tell us some of those superstar things that you had happen in high school.
Well, in high school, I've always been really into volunteering. And so there was this award called the Presidential Award.
Yeah.
And it required 500 hours of community service. And I said, I want to get that award before I graduate from high school. So I contacted one of our local public access television stations in Palo Alto.
Yes.
And they were super excited about bringing me on. And so I was able to help produce a bunch of television shows. I actually helped manage their summer camp to work with kids and get them acclimated to what it's like to be in a studio.
When you were how old?
I was 15 and 16 at the time.
Goodness.
It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So like I
Thank
said,
you.
you're quite amazing.
Aw.
And
As are you, Dr. Beth.
so let me ask you this question, Alexa. You know, you're giving your day up today to be here with me, and I'm so grateful for the honor to be with you and to have this experience and for you to share yourself. Tell me, why are you hanging out with Dr. Beth, this old baby boomer fogey? Why are you hanging out with me?
Far from a fogey, I would actually say she's cooler than me. So Dr. Beth, you've got the most amazing energy. Even just being around you today for the past couple hours has been totally energizing.
Aw, thank you.
You're so easy and approachable to talk to. I love being around you because it actually feels like when we're together, there isn't a gap. So when you
Yes.
talk about bridging the gap, it feels like regardless of our age difference, we're able to communicate and collaborate on the same level,
I
which
love it.
feels really good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and what you just did was you witnessed the second phase of bragging. So the way you do bragging in an ideal family experience is you would brag,
Okay.
then I would brag on you, then I would brag, and then you would brag on me.
Oh, check it out.
So it gives me permission to say things that I'm really proud of. And, you know, a lot of times when we talk about bragging, it's like, okay, so I wrote a Mom's Choice award-winning, best-selling book, Embracing Defiance, helping your child express their unique voice while keeping your sanity. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
And a second thing that I have accomplished is I wrote 19 songs. I learned how to play guitar. I sang the songs and went to Nashville, hired musicians, and I have 2 music CDs. And they're called Dr. Beth's Songs that parents want their children to hear, and Dr. Beth's Songs children want their parents to hear. So some of them are before the baby's born, 0 to 3, and the others are 3 and up. So those are 2 things that I'm really, really passionate about. But I would say the thing that I'm most proud of is this morning.
Tell us more.
Getting up when things are rough and not necessarily perfect in my life and showing up.
Yeah.
So when I talk about brags, it's not just the stuff we accomplish. It's, did we take a shower when we just didn't think we could lift our head off the pillow? Do we show up for others and in service to ourselves and take care of ourselves? I give myself permission to have big, huge feelings. I call them big mixed feelings. Yet I can also bounce. So one of my famous sayings is the movie's not over. You may see me when I'm flat out and I may have a little blood coming down the bottom of my, coming down here, and it's not pretty and it's not looking good, but don't run the credits because the movie's not over. And that's what I saw in you, Alexa. When I met you how many, has it been about a year?
Yeah, it's been a year.
So when I met you the first time, and there were about 60 powerful baby boomer women in the room, and your mother is just an amazing, beautiful, fantastic, and I'll let you brag on her too. You know, she's an amazing mom. And when I found out that you were her daughter, I was like, oh, she is in like Flynn. Alexa is in like Flynn. So what I loved about you was that you fit in with all of these powerful women. Like you owned it. You walked it. You came in here and nobody was going to take anything off of you. And I don't know if you remember it, but you were also talking about going for what? What were you going for? That big, huge video. You were preparing. I can't remember what it was, but you were preparing for something. You were competing a bit against a whole bunch of people.
Oh, yes. Thank you for jogging my memory. We at Stanford, we needed to pitch a company idea, and then 5 ideas would be chosen to actually turn into companies.
Yes.
And so I was pitching a coaching application that I had an idea for,
Right.
called Coach Right Now.
Right. And I'm assuming you have every single thing you've ever touched, you've won. Correct?
Kind of.
Oh my gosh! And I was being totally sarcastic.
You can't win them all.
Did you win that one?
I did not win that one.
Okay, awesome.
That's where the kind of came in.
Okay.
Because you have the passion 100% for every idea.
Yes.
But you don't always get them.
So when you put your heart and soul into this and you didn't win, did you just give up and quit?
Absolutely not.
What'd you do?
No. So what I did was I partnered with another group of people that had a different idea.
Yes.
And we were able to collaborate and build on that idea as a team. But the cool thing was it was still on a topic that I was really passionate about, which is virtual reality.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of a good ending to the sad beginning.
Love it. Love it. And isn't that always true?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, one of the beliefs that I have is that when something doesn't work out, I believe this at the heart and soul. This is my story and I'm sticking to it. Whether it's true or not, I make it true. And I create it to be the truth. And that is that if something doesn't work out, it was perfect and divine. I call it P and D.
Love that.
And then I go looking for what was perfect and divine about that. So if I was going to look for purple right now, I'm going to find purple. If I look for pink, I'm going to find pink. If I look for blue, I'm going to find blue. If I look for, tell me what's so stupid about myself, what did I screw up on? I promise you my computer brain will go right for it.
Right.
And so what I'm looking for is ways to make sure I have the right question that makes me look for what I want to find. So when we come back in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you some more questions about what you'd like to know about how do I get in with the boomers, and maybe not everybody's as cool as Dr. Beth. And if
nobody's as cool as
come
Dr.
on,
Beth.
I gave you that I totally gave you that layup. Okay, and I'll take it. And so what we're going to do is talk about how can we help other millennials and boomers that may not have the gap as closely connected as you and I do.
Love that.
Deal?
Yes.
All right. So when we come back, what I'm going to be talking about is what does society feel about the millennials? And these are some of the things I've heard about the millennials. They are self-centered. They are full of themselves, narcissistic, only in for themselves. They want to come in and all they want to do is take. They're lazy. They're no good sons of guns. And this is why I wrote the book Embracing Defiance, and this is why I'm called a teenologist, because I love that millennial energy. I love teenage energy, because it's that teenage energy that's going to take us to the next generation. Alexa is our next world leader. People like her that are willing to question the status quo, not just say yes, 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 because some older person said she should, but I actually trust Alexa's no, and she's challenged me on multiple occasions. So I love it when I ask her a question and she says, well, actually, I'm not going to go there. So when we come back, we are going to talk more about the millennials and the boomers. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Ask Dr. Beth, America's teenologist, and we are talking millennials versus baby boomers. And this has become quite an issue in corporate America. And it's the same thing that I deal with day in and day out with families, parents, and children. And I'm going to talk about a concept that I have created. It's called the inner 3-year-old, the inner 7-year-old, and the inner teenager, and how that applies to baby boomers versus the millennials. So stay tuned to my brilliant awareness of this new concept that can also impact your spouse. It can impact your dog. Yes, I'm serious. My dog has an inner teen, and it can impact your inner self, where you can take yourself out of the game. So, but what we're going to do for this segment is we're going to talk with Alexa about how this shows up with baby boomers and millennials in corporate America. So, Alexa, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
And tell me what you think the baby boomers think and say about the millennials. What have you heard?
I've heard a lot of things.
Okay. All good, right?
Yes. And it's funny because some of those things are nonverbal, and then some of those things are verbal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me the nonverbal. I'm curious.
Well, I think that sometimes when you're in a room with somebody that you have an age gap with, if that person doesn't know who you are and your personality, they can look at you in certain ways. You can sometimes feel...
Give me the look. Oh.
Like,
ooh. Ow.
It can get a little judgmental.
little standoffish and cold, huh?
It can, yeah. Sometimes...
Wow, that was very subtle but very clear.
Exactly. And sometimes it feels like you almost have to prove a point when, at least from my perspective, when I go into a room and I think that maybe my intelligence or my skill set is being questioned because of my age.
Wow. Okay, I gotta go here for a minute. So, are you willing to own that power no matter what anybody ever does to you again? Would you like a tip?
Yes, I would love that.
Okay. Okay.
Please.
All right. So, what's happening right now is you are giving your power like a yo-yo in the palm of your hand to these old fogey baby boomers like myself. Like, what do we know? What do we know? Seriously.
A lot?
Well, yes, and we don't know everything you know, and you are the middle of your matrix. You know what you want, what you need, how you feel, who you are, better than I could ever pretend to know you.
Right.
True?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're an expert on you.
Yes.
And are you smart?
Yes.
I love that confidence. Yes, I believe you. I'm not even going to ask you again. I actually believe you on the first time through.
That's
Normally I have to ask 3 or 4 times, but I got you the first time. And do you believe you're beautiful?
I do.
I love that. You are. You're gorgeous. And thank goodness you can own it. I'm so proud of you that you can stand in that without any feeling of I shouldn't be. It's just who I am. Do you have something to offer this world?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. You rock. So you don't need Dr. Beth. You just need to remember those 3 things. So the next time you walk in a room and you give me the yo-yo and I give you a look, and that's me throwing the yo-yo down. That's my own stuff. That's my stuff. So what you can look at the next time you see someone looking at you that way, they are jealous as all get out of your youth, your beauty, you're just starting out, your energy, your passion, what you have to bring to the world. Oh my gosh. If I knew what I knew now in your body and in your experience, man, what life I could have. I did have a great life, and I'm very grateful for my life. And there are a lot of people that can't say that, and they don't own that gratitude within themselves.
Sure.
And when they can't own that gratitude within themselves, and they're not owning their own mamma jamma awesomeness, then they can't stand and handle yours. So what you're seeing from me when I'm giving you that look, that's inside of me. And I'll give you a gift, if you so choose to accept it, of what to do with that. Have so much love and compassion.
Yeah.
So much love and compassion for that person. Because they're hurting. They're sad. They feel like they've wasted their lives. They are mad at themselves because they haven't done what they've wanted to do yet. And you, little whippersnapper, have it all going on, and you can set the world on fire. So what I do with the boomers is I help them get where you already are. Don't lose that. Don't ever, excuse me, chills. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. Because if they say something to you like you're not enough or you're too much, for heaven's sakes, if they say you're too much, you come hang out with me. And you find more people around you that lift you up and that have even bigger energy than you have. Find them so that you aren't the tallest poppy and you can just keep being your greatness, the greatest, grandest version of yourself. And so when I take you as a yo-yo and I throw you down, you also give me the power to go, oh, Alexa, you're so wonderful. Oh, Alexa, I love you. Oh, Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. Don't let me take you up either. Don't give me that power. I may change my mind tomorrow, and then I'm going to just throw you around the world. So who says who you are, what you have to offer? Who says, Dr. Beth or Alexa?
I do.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. So when you walk into a room, you can walk in humble. You can walk in with grace.
Yeah.
You can walk in with the gratitude of the gifts and the gorgeousness and the all that you are and all that you've been given. You can just be in complete humbleness and gratitude and have compassion for those that can't hold that space. If you can see behind the curtain, they're letting you see, like the Wizard of Oz. You do know that. Mm-hmm. You know that one, right? Sometimes I make comments about things, and the younger generation, they look at me like, huh? Haven't heard of that one. But I'm just teasing. I knew you knew this one. But when you look behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz, that's how we all are. Mm-hmm. We have this outside vision of what we put out there. And what I'm going to talk about when we come back on the next segment is how this little inner 3-year-old, inner 7-year-old, and inner teen come to be. But talk to me more about how the millennials see you and what you see in the boomers. And what gift would you give the boomers in how to better experience you and get more out of you?
Okay.
What you got?
So on the first question about how the boomers see the millennials, I definitely think there is a separation between what we can and can't do. Mm-hmm. And because what we can do might be in a different way than how the boomers did it, that disconnect can sometimes get in the way. Mm-hmm. So for instance, being able to create something as simple as a spreadsheet, the way that we do it, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're going through corporate America and you're doing each of your tasks in different ways, sometimes the boomers can question that. You know,
right.
Why are you doing it that way?
Yeah.
That's not how we've
why
been doing
break it?
Exactly, yeah. So I think there's a little bit of a gap over there. In terms of the second question about...
Okay, and I'm gonna back you up on this one.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I hear from the boomers is that the millennials can't take direction. Mm. And they're not willing to learn from the wisdom of the boomers. Mm-hmm. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would agree with some pieces of it and disagree with others.
Say more.
So I would agree that sometimes millennials can get stuck in the more efficient way that they learned to do something.
I love that, the more efficient way.
See, I'm already backing up the right. So maybe so I need to pull back a little bit because now I'm truly acting like the millennial stereotype.
No, don't back up.
But
own your stuff.
You know, if
be confident. What I would say is be confident. Yet, if you come across as my way or the highway, the boomers don't feel respected. And if you come across from a space of, I've got an idea, I'm willing to be wrong, even though maybe on the inside you're not. Mm-hmm. I got an idea, I'm willing to be wrong. I think it'll save us money, make us money, and be more efficient, and maybe even more fun. Would you like to hear it? And this is what I teach the parents to say to the teens. You know, instead of me coming in like a little know-it-all, telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, I call that the super 7-year-old. Instead, I've got an idea. Would you like to hear it? And I think if the millennials can do that with the boomers, because the boomers feel like the millennials are taking their inventory all the time. Mm-hmm. I wonder if the millennials feel the boomers are taking their inventory all the time. Yes? Definitely, right?
Yeah.
So if we can stop taking each other's inventory and ask for permission to share our greatness, and at the same time be willing to be wrong. Not easy. Right. So what are you hearing in all that?
I'm hearing that we need to listen to each other more.
Okay, love it. Love it. And then the second question, do you remember what it is? Because I don't.
It was around what do you wish that the boomers would better understand?
Yes.
And I think that what I wish is that the boomers wouldn't pass the judgment as quickly. So they might be absolutely right about where I'm coming from or about where any millennial's coming from, but give that millennial a chance to show you what they're capable of before making that judgment so that you can really understand where they're coming from and what background and skill set they're bringing to the table.
Yes. So here's one of my 10 keys to compassionate living, 10 keys to compassionate parenting. It's COM, and M is for mirror, mirror. So one of the things that I teach the boomers is anytime they're taking an inventory or making a request of the millennial, I'm telling them to write that down and turn it around.
That's powerful.
So I am inviting you, aka double dog daring you, to write down everything that you think about millennials. Everything. Just take our inventory. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then turn it around and see if you can find any piece of that you could do coming back to the millennials. Mm-hmm. So when we come back, we'll talk more about that. So when I talk about this concept of mirror, mirror, this is a concept that is one of the most powerful things, but you can't do this from your inner critic. You have to do this from playfulness, from love, and from complete compassion, first for yourself and then for the other. And you do it from the 30,000 foot where you can hold and love all of it. I'm going to talk about that more when we come back. Stay tuned to Ask Dr. Beth, America's Teenologist. So that's the end of part 1 of 3. Stay tuned. We are going to go deep. We're going to take this wide. We are going to have fun with the boomers versus the millennials. Dun, 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 dun. Stay tuned for part 2 of a 3-part series coming up next.